Our local dignitaries. First of all, Tracy Johnson, our clerk of court, and that lovely. I think. Oh, excuse me. That might. That may not be Tracy after all. I think that might be Martha Custis. Okay. Oh gosh. Then county supervisors, Willie Randall. Thank you. Rick Hubbard, another Northampton. Where are you, Rick? He's around here somewhere. He's in the jail. Oh, gosh. And I don't see any mayors this afternoon, but I do see a couple of council people. I see Eleanor Gordon Sturgis, councilwoman for Eastville. Where are you? There you go, Eleanor. Welcome. And Steve Bennett, Councilman Cape Charles. Welcome, Steve. And I don't see Katie Nunez, but I suspect she'll be here. I'd like to thank those individuals that serve this community in such a great way. Thank you. Our thanks goes also to Katie Hubbard for planning this wonderful event, and to the costume guides. And you can see them about, and you'll see more of them later. I'd like to give a little history to this organization for those of you that aren't familiar with it. We are we used to be the Association for the Preservation of Virginia Indians. And when I joined when I was about 20 years old, I joined because I liked to say. It was a lot to say, APVA. And then we moved on, to Northampton Branch Preservation, Virginia. The branches were incorporated in 1889. And by 1896, there were 24 branches around the state. Actually, there was a branch up in New York as well. And then in 1913, enter Northampton County Branch. 1913, 2013. It's a long time. Mrs. William Bullitt Fitzhugh and a group of interested locals organized this branch for the primary purpose of saving the destruction of the 1731 courthouse to my left. Money was raised to move the building to its present location, and by 1922, the building was renovated. As many of you already know, Preservation Virginia has decided to change its mission and will no longer keep incorporated branches. We will remain a branch until May 31st, 2013, and that's when we were born, 100 years ago. At this time, we hope to be, or we will be, our own organization and 501c3. It will be called the Northampton Historic Preservation Society. We're almost there. We will continue our 100-year mission dedicated to preservation, and will now be able to concentrate our efforts right here in Northampton County. Over the past century, this branch has had several names: the Eastville Branch, the Debbie Deben Branch, and our current name, Northampton Branch. We are confident with your help, our impact will be greater than ever, and we are making great strides in this direction, as you can see from today. When you go through the buildings, you'll see sign-up sheets, and if you're interested in being a part of this organization, please give us your contact information and we will contact you, because we want you to be a founding member for our next 100 years. Joan Winter, a former branch director, now she will talk to you briefly about the Court Green and our new exhibit. Joan?
Thanks, Nan. Can everyone hear me? Good. I'll just be brief, but I want to tell you what an exciting day this is for all of us. Let me talk a little bit about the history of Eastville. Eastville has been the site of the Northampton County Court since 1677. We have a couple of grandchildren here today, and I was impressing them with the fact that that's nearly 100 years before the American Revolution. The Virginia Historic Landmarks Commission has recognized the Northampton Court Green as one of the most complete courthouse complexes in Virginia, with an inn, 2 courthouses, a clerk's office, prison, debtor's prison, lawyer's row, and 2 early mercantile buildings. The many architectural styles found on the green, from Colonial to Romanesque Revival, reflect nearly 350 years of Eastern Shore history. The oldest continuous county court records in America, dating to 1632, are located in the new courthouse. Today's Court Green exhibit dedication, and by the way, this exhibit is inside the 1899, that's why we're keeping you all out here so you can see it, be surprised. This really completes a cycle of events that started in 2004 when the Northampton Branch asked Northampton County to partner with us in restoring and reinterpreting the Court Green for the 2007 celebration of the founding of Jamestown, 400 years anniversary of the founding of Jamestown. Major funding for that project, and I should say the branch put in a good chunk of change, which was a gift to us, and the county put in a good chunk of change, but the major funding came from the Norfolk Foundation, and they were very supportive and enthusiastic about the project. We did complete this by 2007 and dedicate it with new exhibits, interpretive signs, and the buildings to this day are open daily, April through October for visitors when the county is open. After the new courthouse behind me was, after the new courthouse was built to the west behind the Court Green, this 1899 courthouse behind me was renovated to become the county's administrative center. The original record storage room, which many of you will remember, especially the lawyers like Jack in the crowd, with its fireproof steel door and window shutters, was left as exhibit space. It is in an area of the building which can be closed off for special events like this one. It has amenities such as restrooms and meeting space. We thank the Board of Supervisors and the County Administrator, Katie Nunez, for their foresight, and also Janice Williams, who is here today, over there by the office, for helping us make it all happen. She's always willing to answer the phone and return the email and give us the keys and, you know, be here today to make sure we can get in and out. The Northampton branch eagerly accepted the challenge to restore that room and put an exhibit in there. We wanted to create an exhibit that explains the Court Green and features many of the elements which were really too fragile to be left outdoors or in the buildings. When you go in the exhibit room today, you will see such things as the raised panel book press, which was built for the 1731 courthouse and has been copied by Colonial Williamsburg for use in their courthouse. That had been in that building, and Williamsburg was thrilled when we were able to get it into climate-controlled space. The whipping post, which used to be in the yard back by the debtor's prison, you may remember fell over about 10 or 15 years ago. That is also in the exhibit. The measuring rod from the clerk's office is in the exhibit, and also when you think about the fact that we were a colonial court green for 100 years, there are some very early 16-something Bibles from Hunter's Church when the church was part of the colonial government. Two things. Initially in 2000, Mills Wenner began cleaning and photographing the exhibits. Before that time, Pat Holland had everything numbered and displayed, but we sort of cleaned those things, and we opened an exhibit in the Eastville Inn. This exhibit is really a sort of magic next step. Carl and Sally Stiglbauer, who are here, I see Sally and Carl behind her, were able to take the things that we had and the pictures and text that Mills had created that formerly were in the buildings, reframe those in all kinds of new ways, put in elements, plexiglass boxes. I think you'll be as excited about it as we are when you see the inside. The ADCO, the Stiglbauer's business, also did the outside signage. You'll notice behind me a brass plaque that talks about this being an exhibit of the Court Green. As you come from the Eastville Inn, there are signs directing you here. When you look at the Eastville Inn, you see signs directing you inside to the exhibits. So we're very pleased today to open this exhibit and to celebrate the Court Green and this beautiful spring day. Now back to Nan.
Thank you, Joan. Joan, I have to say, has worked tirelessly on this exhibit, and you'll see it really paid off. Thank you, Joan. Before I go any further, we have so many of our board members here today from our organization, and we have a large board, but we have a very discerning group. I'm amazed at their energy and their support and dedication to preservation. So I'd like to thank all of our board members. I won't call you out. Now I'd like to introduce the Northampton County Clerk of Court, the Honorable Tracy Johnson. Excuse me, Maggie Custis.
Has anyone seen Colonel Custis? Well done is better than well said. And I'd like to thank the ladies of, and gentlemen of the PVA over their many names for displaying and helping us relive how it was back then. And I'm honored to be a part of it, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak, but I mostly want to thank the PVA and over the years all of the people and organizations that have helped in keeping in Eastville what has always been so special, our rich history. And if anyone out there sees Colonel Custis, could you please tell him I'm waiting for lemonade with him? Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. I just can't get over that wonderful costume. We were in Williamsburg recently, Tracy and I, and one of the folks that we met in Williamsburg was just really impressed with Eastville and Northampton County. And she said to Tracy, she said, what an honor you have to preserve the history of Northampton County. And she's the keeper of the history. Thank you, Tracy. Now I'd like to have Reverend Harry Crandall for our dedication prayer.
Thank you, Nan. As Rector Emeritus of Hunger's Parish, the only organized entity in Northampton County which predates the courthouses, offices, and jails